Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Saturday, October 30th. So today we do have the moon still in Leo for the early hours of the day. The moon in Leo will be transiting into Virgo energy, locking in around 3:10 p.m. So we have to kind of consider the fact that the majority of the waking hours of the day is going to be a little bit shaky, a little bit unstable. We're definitely going to feel the shift. The moon, of course, in a fire sign in Leo, really activating our heart chakra, really pushing us to be bold, brave, and courageous over the last couple of days to make some moves and express ourselves in order to honor what's going on inside of us. Anytime we shift out of that fire energy and making the move into an earth energy, it can feel like we're jumping out of a plane without a parachute. We fly very high with fire energy, and of course the earth energy is very low, very slow, very hard on the head. We have to understand that the moon in Virgo is going to help us rearrange, reorganize, restructure our heart, our head, our daily lives, because we've had a lot of realizations, we've made a lot of action, and now we have to find a brand new stability to actually build off of. So we have 13 different aspects here today. It is a very busy day in the cosmos. We had a little bit of a slow day yesterday, although the intensity wouldn't suggest that. And now today, things are amping up. We have some things that we have to accomplish in a very short amount of time. This is also the last day before Halloween, which means that the veil between dimensions is very, very thin. This is a great time for spiritual work, for shadow work, for connecting with your ancestors. This is a beautiful time to strengthen your intuition, to download some insight, some inspiration from your higher self, from the cosmos. As we build towards this Halloween energy, you best believe that things are going to get a little bit wonky. There's going to be an overlap of dimensions of energy, of information, and things can get a little bit crazy. Lucky for us, the moon in Virgo will provide us with as much grounding energy as we could possibly get at this time. So 13 different aspects taking place today. 9 of them involve the moon. The moon right out of the gate, while still in Leo energy, is going to sit across from Jupiter, who is in Aquarius. The moon in Leo, again, very connected to the heart space, really recognizing where it is we have to advocate for ourselves, where it is that we can't lose our individual wants, needs, and desires, all to try and make other people happy. Now, Jupiter here does want us to grow, does want us to expand, wants us to jump outside of our comfort zones and see what is possible if we were to open our minds. But right now, we're just trying to work on advocating for ourselves to maintain our individual independence. This is why there's a conflict, because emotionally, we want to do what is right for us. But Jupiter is like, okay, great, you can do what you want to do for you, but how is that going to help other people? Of course, the Aquarian energy is the collective, and we're supposed to be thinking futuristically right now because that's what Jupiter in Aquarius wants us to do. But the moon in Leo just wants to be content here in the present moment because we have some major moves to make here and now that will have a direct impact on what it is that we're able to do for ourselves and for other people moving into the future. The moon goes ahead and trines Venus. So this is a beautiful energy because the moon in Leo, fire energy. Venus in Sagittarius, fire energy. A trine is a beautiful energy because it harmonizes, it blends these two particular energies together. And what this particular aspect is suggesting is that we recognize now where it is that we have to honor our truth, honor ourselves, do what is right for us. We have a new truth, we have a new confidence, we have a new perspective on what makes us happy, who makes us happy. Where it is we have to work a little bit harder in order to incorporate joy and pleasure into our lives. Of course, Venus, very focused on what it is that we can do now to raise the level of happiness and joy in our lives, also is kind of strategizing for a plan for the future. But now with this new truth that has emerged, with this new quest for independence and freedom that we're on, our future selves don't really resemble what it is we thought we were trying to manifest even a week ago. Emotionally, we're going to have an aha moment here. We're going to be able to clearly define what it is that we need to do to honor our heart space, especially in our personal relationships. Now, we're going to get a little bit of an opportunity to boss up here because the moon goes ahead and bumps into Pluto. And Pluto, of course, is ruler of this whole Scorpio season. Pluto is now direct in Capricorn, and Pluto is the god of the underworld, really advocating for transformation, even if it means that a death and a true destruction has to take place in the system, the routine, the structure in our lives in order to clean the slate for a brand new reality to actually be birthed. The reason why I say that this is an opportunity to boss up is because we're likely going to be put in a situation with external people and external circumstances to actually stand in our power, to walk the walk and talk the talk. The moon, of course, is our emotions. And Pluto, of course, just wants us to get a grip on our darker emotions, our negative emotions, in order to turn that pain into power, to turn that darker side of life into something bright. This particular energy is going to be a powerhouse move for us. We have to be careful that we're not put in a state of paralysis by the fears and uncertainties and insecurities rising up within us. But then again, we're in Scorpio season, and that is the name of the game. How much darkness can you sit in and still alchemize it, pulling yourself out of the darkness to lead yourself to the light? Or are you going to just sit in the darkness and make continuous excuses on why you can never boss up and make the changes that you know you need to make? The moon is going to add a little bit more salt to the wound, if you will, because the moon in Leo bumps into Chiron, who is retrograde in Aries. Chiron, of course, is the wounded healer, and this is a huge illumination on those dark thoughts, on those fears, on those doubts, those insecurities, those uncertainties. Again, we're going to be given a choice on, are we content to live in the darkness, to stay in the pain? Or are we going to use that as motivation, as inspiration, as a catalyst to stand up and detach from our ego, detach from our pain story, and actually make the change that our intuition and our higher selves are calling us to make? The moon goes ahead and bumps into the sun. This is a beautiful positive aspect because here is where the transformation takes place. The moon still in Leo, the sun in Scorpio. This is a huge illumination on where it is now. We have another choice to drop the emotional baggage of our pain story, our trauma story, and alchemize it. Turn that darkness into light, turn that pain into power. That's what the sun in Scorpio is doing for us. It's shining a bright light on our shadow selves and asking our inner demons to come out to play. When the demons agree to come out to play, the sun blasts them with love and light codes, alchemizing it, raising its vibration, its understanding, its awareness, its consciousness to something that we can actually work with, so that we don't remain in a state of paralysis. The sun squares Saturn. Here is another choice point. The sun in Scorpio creating this tension with the Lord of Karma. The Lord of Karma, of course, has a tendency to put a little bit of the negative Nancy narrative in our minds to keep us in that darkness, to keep our demons in the darkness so that we can't illuminate them to the light. Saturn, of course, doesn't mean to bully us into a state of paralysis, but if we didn't learn our lesson, if we didn't boss up, if we're not ready to walk the walk and talk the talk, then we may as well sit our ass down and stay in the darkness and get to learn to love our demons if we are not willing to power up, to change our lives, to change our karma by implementing, accepting, and integrating all of the tough love life lessons that has brought us to this particular moment in time. This is an opportunity for us to shine a bright light on what it is that we're going to do. Of course, we have a great vision, we have a great dream, we have new ideas, desires, and inspirations that we want to manifest in the future. But it is going to require us to be a different version of ourselves. If you were who you needed to be in this particular moment to be living the life that you're currently praying for, then there would be no issue. The problem is that you're not at the vibration and frequency that you need to be in order to receive the kind of blessings that you've been praying for. So that means we have to make a change. What change are we going to make? Well, that's up to you. Again, we can sit in the darkness and befriend our demons and never ever intend to transform them into anything that could be powerful enough to act as the catalyst, to act as motivation and inspiration to change. Or we can go to the darkness, we can befriend our demons, we can get them to walk with us on the path to enlightenment and have the sun blast them with all the love and light codes that we need in order to illuminate a brand new awareness on where we can use our demons as a powerful tool and asset to make a major change and transformation. At this particular moment, and not a moment too soon, Mars goes ahead and moves into Scorpio. This is basically the warrior god himself, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passions, our desires, even our anger, taking the throne. Mars is a co-ruler of Scorpio energy. He is at his prime here. He is at his strongest. He is damn well and determined to go after what it is that he wants, the new desires that are festering up in him, and he will stop at nothing until they are happening, until they are manifested. Now, let me tell you, Mars in Scorpio will stop at nothing to get what he wants. He has no problem getting to the bottom of things. We are going to actively take action, make moves to actively pursue the new path, the new dreams, the new desires that we have been cultivating inside of us. I would definitely recommend you take this opportunity to go check out October's energy forecast and dive into what Mars and Scorpio is going to do for us over the next couple of weeks. Venus and Pluto come into an interaction that will likely be a little bit of a powerhouse move. And I say this because it's likely going to happen from an external situation or circumstance. Venus, of course, she's all focused on love and value and worth and future plans. Her being in Sagittarius has led us on a brand new quest for truth, has illuminated a lot of truth to us that has humbled us down to our core, that has shown us where it is we need more freedom and independence in our lives in order to feel safe and secure. And Venus in Sagittarius, she's ready to get excited about life again. She's ready to prepare herself for a brand new adventure. She's trying to renew her faith. She's trying to stay optimistic. But bumping into Pluto in this way, Pluto is the god of the underworld who illuminates the darkness for us to use that as a powerful source of motivation to transform. Here's the thing though, this particular interaction, this particular aspect means that there's going to be an outside trigger. Something is going to happen, likely in our personal relationships, likely uncovering lies, betrayal, deception. You're likely going to see this play out on the global, greater, grand stage of the collective. Again, I mean, if you haven't been paying attention, there's been new truths emerge every single day, changing the whole perspective on this whole pandemic. There has been new lies, betrayals, corruptions emerging from the darkness, illuminating to the light. And now, what are we going to do with it? This particular energy we're going to see in our individual lives, though. And like I said, this is going to act as a trigger, an exterior trigger. People, places, things, disruptions to our days, to our thoughts, to our feelings, to our perspective. And again, we have the opportunity to sit in the darkness and stay paralyzed and sit in our weaknesses and sit in the delusion, or we could shine a bright light on that and recognize that this isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. It's happening to trigger us into a great transformation that we wouldn't otherwise have made if our back wasn't against a wall, we weren't triggered, mind, body, and soul, and we weren't pressurized to make a dramatic change and shift in our lives, all to get us back on the path of authenticity, of actually reaching our soul's mission and our soul's dream. The moon now in Virgo, okay? We're a little bit low, we're a little bit slow, we're coming back down to earth, we're dealing with just what is. We cannot be bothered thinking about the past, thinking about the future. We need to analyze what is going on right now. We know we're being called by the activators going on in our external realms to make a change, to reorganize, to restructure our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our plans in moving forward. So the moon in Virgo, who is very focused on analyzing the inner workings of our heart space, of our mind space, based off of the events taking place in our external realms right now, is making a sextile, a beautiful, harmonious aspect with Mars. This is Mars's first time making an aspect with any planetary body, standing in his place of power, sitting on his throne in Scorpio energy. Here's the thing, Virgo energy, very focused on the details, very focused on analyzing, picking things apart, criticizing, using that judgmental mind in order to really get down to the nitty-gritty of what is going on, what it is that the present moment is illuminating for us so that we can work with what is instead of what could be. Mars, who is all about action, is in his place of power in Scorpio, which is all about transformation. Scorpio energy is the detective of the zodiac. We're probing. We're intensely probing. We're asking ourselves the right questions. We're asking the right questions of other people. We have a mission. We have a purpose, and we will stop at nothing until we get the answers that we need. But here's the thing. The moon, which is our emotions, in Virgo, which is just analyzing and pulling things apart and, scrutinizing the details of how it is we think, how it is we feel, and what these external changes and triggers actually mean for our long-term plans. Bumping into Mars, it means that we're ready to take action. We're ready to make a move. It's like Mars is saying, I'm here. Let me show you what this energy is going to be like. Let me show you my strength. Let me show you my power to take action and make a boss up move in my day based off of the facts and the details going on in my heart and in my head that I'm not going to be able to back away from. This is like a strong ass push forward. This is like a declaration of, I'm here, I'm the warrior, what are you going to do about it? Okay, so we're definitely going to feel an intensity take over. We're going to be pushing ourselves emotionally, mentally, and then of course, when those two agree, we're going to be taking physical action in our lives to make things right, to alchemize that darkness into something light. We're going to get another boss up move here because the moon in Virgo bumps into Pluto, the other ruler of Scorpio season. Mars and Pluto both rule over Scorpio. So any time that these two are making major moves throughout Scorpio season, they're going to be felt. They're going to be dramatic. They're going to be intense. The moon bumping into Pluto at this time is a major boss up. How? Because the moon in Virgo has been pulling things apart, analyzing the inner workings of our heart space, of our mind space. We just made a major move in order to express ourselves and take action in our day-to-day lives to show people where it is that we're not willing to back down, where it is that we are willing to push through challenge and obstacle in order to get what it is that we want, need, and deserve. And then the moon bumping into Pluto is like emotional transformation, psychological transformation, standing in our power, analyzing all the little bits of our interior realms and recognizing that now, because we've made the big, huge transformation within ourselves, we're ready to make the transformation outside of ourselves. So Mercury, who is direct in Libra, is going to be bumping into Neptune, who is retrograde in Pisces. Now, let me just tell you, this is a beautiful energy. However, the aspect is not going to be so pleasant. The outcome is pleasant. The situation is not. This is, again, an opportunity outside of ourselves from our exterior realms acting as a trigger for us to speak up, to speak out, to communicate what is going on in our inner realms, because of course we just had this major boss up in energy. And Mercury is looking to vocalize what we intuitively know to be true. Neptune is our higher selves. That is our intuition. That is this new, overwhelming understanding of the greater plan that is at play for us. It feels right? It might not feel right in the moment because, of course, we're being pressurized. There's a tension in order for us to boss up and make a move. But in our gut, we know this is right. In our head, in our heart, we know this is right. That's why we're speaking on it. That's why we're bringing it into existence. And then here's the thing. The moon goes ahead and squares the true note. So what does this mean? Well, it means that we bossed up. We got our heart and our head on the same page. We vocalized what it is we needed to say. We were put in a pressurized situation where we had to trust our gut and our intuition over what is. And the moon in Virgo squaring, creating this tension point with the true node is saying, okay, you know what? Too much has changed. I got to take a moment. I got to sit down. I got to make some calculations. I have to examine how it is that I think, how it is that I feel now that I made this major boss up move and had this blowback, this pushback from the people that I thought were going to be on my side. Now, emotionally, the moon in Virgo is like, we got to sort through some things here because our plans, our dreams, our visions doesn't make sense with these circumstances. I have to really pick things apart here. I have to analyze what's going on inside of me, what's going on around me, because we just had a major situation develop, and I can't be sure that the dreams and the visions that I had, even when I woke up this morning, are the same things that I want for myself going to sleep tonight. So we have to rework a couple of things. We have to rework our energy. We have to rework our heart space, our head space. We have to examine how everybody energy exchange is now kind of unfolding. Because again, like I said, the last couple of days, we have drew a line in the sand, and the people in our lives have not been as cooperative as what it is that we thought they were going to be. And that has really humbled us to see where it is that maybe we're going to be walking this path alone. Maybe we're not going to have the end dream, the end goal of a happy-go-lucky family with these particular people in the starring roles in the movie that is you. We're going to end off the day by recognizing that, we got to take a step back. We got to rework a couple of things. We need a little bit of time to analyze the inner workings of our heart space and of our head with this new information, this new blowback that we just experienced from our loved ones, from the external triggers that have been divinely scripted, to see whether or not we're going to actually stand and hold the line, or whether or not we're going to step back because we didn't get the response that we wanted, and whether or not we're going to crumble. So let me tell you, the moon in Virgo makes a very harmonious aspect with Chiron, who is the wounded healer, who is retrograde in Aries. What does this tell us? It tells us that, you know what? Things might look a little bit choppy in our physical realm right now, but I feel like I did the right thing. I feel like I'm on the right track. I don't have all the answers. I don't know what is going to happen from here, but I know I was given an opportunity and presented a choice. And I know that me speaking out, that me expressing myself, that me taking action and making a move in order to protect my emotional security and implement the boundaries that I need to have in my life in order to protect myself, I know that that was right. And I don't know where we go from here, but I know it feels right, because this is how we heal. We get pressurized, we make a move, we deal with the blowback, but we recognize that as long as we're operating from our authentic selves, listening to our higher selves, our intuition, our heart space, our truth, then we can do no wrong. And the moon in Virgo, very focused on analyzing every little detail, has picked it apart enough to know, I just did a boss up move, and I just healed a wound that I never, ever thought that I would even have the opportunity to heal. And look at me go. Look at me taking the physical time, energy that I need in my life to put myself first. And that, under any circumstance, should never feel wrong.